Let me give you a sense of just how special our next speaker is. But before that, I feel bad that we're sort of crashing this room here, too, beyond its capacity. If people would like to come up and sit on the carpeting here and be a little bit more comfortable, that would be great. But as I was saying, let me give you a sense of just how special our next speaker is. How many members of Congress do you think have on the homepage of their website a ticker continuously adding up the cost of the war since 2001? Exactly one.
You're the bomb.
How many members 3 days after the 9/11 attacks voted against giving President Bush carte blanche power to unleash a war on terrorism?
One.
So if you're looking for somebody bold and feisty to lead the fight for progressive tax reform, she is it. Please welcome a leader of the Out of Poverty Caucus, the Black Caucus, and the Progressive Caucus, Representative Barbara Lee.
And she's a great advocate for 99ers.
Oh, yes. HR 548. Thank you so much, sir, for that very inspiring, humbling also, but also for all of your work on the issues of equality, equity, and social and economic justice. Thank you so much. Also, Chuck brought so much, I tell you, to this movement in terms of your faith, your vision, and really understanding and putting into context the issues of fairness and equality. So thank you again for being here. Of course, listening to Senator Sanders, I tell you, I miss him. I was on, believe it or not, the banking committee when all the deregulation began to take place, and it was really a pleasure to work with Senator Sanders, and we actually worked together on the first legislation establishing the Housing Trust Fund. And we listened in the House, but he certainly needed desperately in the Senate. And everything did great. Yeah, give him another round of applause. And what he said, in terms of the public, we always thought as progressives, we were not quite mainstream, but I'm going to tell you, the progressive point of view, the progressive place where we've been for so many years is where the majority of the country is. And so you can thank all of your leadership, Bob, Roger, everyone, all of you for pushing the country really in the direction of equity and fairness, because the majority of the people are with us. It's just that those Tea Party Republicans aren't. And we're going to deal with that too. But, if you know what I mean. So let me thank you for giving me the opportunity to join this panel. It's really a critical issue for the future of our nation. We all know that under the Bush administration's failed economic policies, there are unfunded wars, and there are massive tax breaks for the super rich. That's what has broken our economy, and that's what's dramatically increased the deficit. In short, they have turned the American dream into a nightmare, and I say this quite often. It's turned into a nightmare for millions. So now we have to find a way to pay for the massive debt that they left behind, even while we work to fix the economy that they left in shambles. But we also immediately must find ways to target investments in communities hit hardest by the recession. In some communities, especially communities of color, it's a depression, and has been for many, 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 many years. We have to also create a thriving America by providing what we call pathways to economic opportunity for all. So we can really begin to take back the American dream for all. Now, progressive tax reform, as you know, really does remind us that there is a fair way, a just way, to help pay for this work of taking back the American dream. And this is where groups like IPS are playing a pivotal role. Bob, Dan, everyone who has put this conference together is playing a pivotal role in working to shine a light really on the impact of companies and corporations that abuse the tax code and fail to pay their fair share. Now, IPS conducted a study. I don't know if we talked about the IPS study yet, but they revealed that 25 corporations which pay their CEOs more than the entire corporation paid in federal taxes.
Jesus.
More. One company, mind you, got a $3.3 billion tax refund. Imagine. Also, this report clearly lays out exactly what is energizing, thank goodness, the protest movement spreading across America right now to occupy Wall Street. We really don't need the report to tell us that something is desperately wrong. We see now, Bank of America, just bailed out by our tax dollars, charging $5 a month just to use our money. Can you believe that? So Wall Street can keep paying these record bonuses. Is this $5 a month anything but Wall Street greed? I can't figure that out at all. I hope someone could explain that. It's just a greed. It's just greed. That's what we got.
G-R-E-E-D.
G-R-E-E-D. But you know what? Republicans really are not troubled by any of this. They just keep following more of the same bankrupt policies, pushing for more cuts for the super rich and for their corporate donors. Despite the fact that the Bush tax cuts didn't pay for themselves, nor did they create any new jobs, and no matter what Republicans claim, more tax cuts for the rich will not make them job creators. And that's the argument. It will not make them job creators.
They haven't done it in 10 years.
What these policies did do, though, was create a massive deficit that has hamstrung the government's ability to respond to national emergencies like natural disasters, which we just saw a mess in terms of the debate. It was immoral. It was wrong to even engage in that kind of debate in the midst of these terrible disasters where people were suffering. We saw this as it relates to how we address the ongoing crisis of poverty, hunger, and homelessness in America. And I have to tell you, with regard to unemployment compensation, the 99ers, there are many, many millions of people who have hit that 99 wall in terms of unemployment. And so myself and Congressman Bobby Scott, we've been working day and night trying to get a 99er bill passed. But you know what? And we met with our Speaker, Boehner, and we met with Mr. Cantor.
Sir Cantor?
I've had since they've been in power, but this was a meeting about our 99er bill. And what they told us was that, well, you know, it's got to be paid for. And we're saying, but wait a minute, this is a national disaster and it's a national emergency. And historically, when you have a national emergency, you do the right thing. You do not worry about today how you pay for it, because we know tomorrow, by providing a safety net for consumers and for 99s, that they'll be able to pay their rent and buy food and help turn the economy around. So not only is it the morally correct thing to do, it's the economic prudent thing to do. That's what we
$1.61 per dollar.
We keep telling them that. And so we're going to keep forging ahead until we figure it out. But it is a national emergency.